Within those groups, they can't stand each other. The South cannot tolerate North, the North cannot tolerate South. Within the South, each language they cannot tolerate each other. Within each language, again the North, South, and coastal, they cannot tolerate each other. Way back there, you move to a different country, you find another brown skin with the bottu on the face. Indian? No more the difference of being South India, North India, East India, West India, nothing. Indian? Indian. The Indianness seems to unify. Isn't it? Those barriers that we had constructed for ourselves within those local language barriers, transcend them. The multiplicity is transcended to find oneness. Oneness of what? Being an Indian. Have you ever watched Star Trek? Baba, yes? No? One answer. That which had that beam me up Scotty. Wherein they go out into the outer space, the final frontier. Do you remember the initial dialogue? I don't know to which group I am talking. There they talk about people from various galaxies. And one of the things that I find is when they come across, you're from Earth? I'm also from Earth. There is no more division of skin color based differences. Whether we are brown, black, white, yellow, green, whatever the color. You're from Earth, I'm also from Earth. All the other differences are forgotten. We find that unifying factor of humanity. Here what Bhagavan is trying to say is a step higher than humanity. Not just that which is sentient, but even that which is not sentient. It is that divinity that is pervading across. And it is with that perspective of divinity that is perceived across that we invoke that Paramatma. In the form of a tree, in the form of a stone, in the form of a river, in the form of a mountain, in the form of a being, in the form of a thing. It was not because they were primitive in their thinking that they had invoked God through these various forms. It was because that they found that unifying factor of divinity across the platform of sentiency or insentiency. Who is a devotee? The Puranas say that who can see Paramatma even in a pillar is a bhakta. Do you know whom I am talking about? Very good. And the one who cannot perceive that Paramatma pervading in the world, what is he denoted as? Hiranya Kashipu. Now my simple question. Where are we? Are you getting my point? If we can see that Paramatma pervading, we are that devotee. If we cannot, because where is our focus? Like Hiranyakashipu. Where was Hiranyakashipu's focus? Hiranya in wealth, in money. That is why his focus was outwardly, in a materialistic sense. He was known as the Asura or Rakshasa. I like the word Asura. What does Asura mean? The one who doesn't have Sura, harmony of any kind. The one who cannot perceive that unifying factor. In fact, with an untrained mind, all that we focus on in breaking up, creating divisions. Person without a vision creates division. And wherever there are divisions, there are only confusions. You have seen with the example, India, North, South languages, various divisions that we create, it can only create confusion. But do we need to go to another galaxy system to say that we are all human? Can't we just transcend that superficial boundaries to find being that human being? That humanness. Do we need to go to other galaxy to recognize it? Seems like it though. In India we are so bitter against each other that all these North Indians settled in Maharashtra, they are eating away our the recent. We are seen to bitter. When do we get close? When we are away from that, into an environment, then these differences don't seem to matter. So where are these differences? Up here. If we can transcend these sense of differences, creating likes and dislikes, to reach to that standpoint of wisdom wherein I can perceive oneness. That sense of oneness was what was given to Arjuna by the Lord, so that he could see that divinity all around. How was that experience of divinity? Now for the first time, Sanjaya. Who is Sanjaya?
Narrating.
The personal assistant. The first live war correspondent. To Dhritarashtra, he was the war correspondent. He was giving live updates. He steps in to give us the experience of Arjuna, of that great unifying, glorifying vision of the Lord in Sanjaya's words. So that we will see tomorrow, because my throat needs a break. I know we have still 10 minutes, but I think I'll give myself those 10 minutes and stop here. Hopefully tomorrow we'll continue for the entire stretch of 1.5 hours. So what was that unifying vision that transformed Arjuna? To whom the transformed Arjuna was given the message, beautiful message in the 12th chapter. What is the 12th chapter? Bhakti Yoga. So who qualifies for that bhakti? Those who bring that transformation within. And what is that transformation? That is given in this 11th chapter. In Sanjaya's words, we will see that unifying vision. Amazing poetry, amazing vision that is said. Some of the Mahatmas, they can't proceed further beyond this 8th shloka. I have met them. Because the moment they start with the 9th shloka, their eyes are just filled with tears of that vision. And they are lost in that, transfixed in that glorious vision. That beautiful is the segment to come ahead. So if you are of that emotional kind, come prepared. Kleenex. But it is very beautiful and touching how Sanjaya presents it. That we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.